All right, welcome to the Eric Tries to Work podcast, episode, I think 106, but I'll check that later. I am here with a really funny guy, a comic from Baltimore named Eric Glaeser. I got your name right. Good, right?
Yeah. Eric Glaeser. Cool.
All right. So how are you doing at this late evening?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I had an eventful night. I told you kind of a little bit about it. I probably shouldn't talk about it.
Super secret.
Yeah. Super secret. Yeah.
All right, so you didn't assassinate anybody, and
no.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, it was like top secret video footage I had to get.
Oh shit! All right, aliens. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we'll talk about what we can talk about. Us. You are a stand-up comic from Baltimore, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so how long have you been doing it? I'm gonna ask you all the bullshit questions right away, because for anybody who's watching this or listening to this who doesn't know who you are. So how long have you been doing it?
I started in November 2013, so maybe like 2 years and some change.
And how often do you go up now?
Probably, or I do like 5 nights a week now. I try to do that at least. Yeah.
And you make that happen? Because I've had a lot of comics on who are often times struggle to find that many shows in the area, and they usually have to end up spending weekends driving up to New York or Philly or somewhere else. How do you manage to get up that often?
I'm funny, so no. Sure. No. I mean, there's rooms around here. You just gotta look. You or just make your own. That's
Yeah, that's what it seems like. As I was stalking your Facebook and Twitter, first of all, you are really funny. I've seen you twice in the last 2 weeks now, and it's been really, really good. I even talked to a couple buddies of mine who I do know from the stand-up scene, because I'd met you before, and I was like, that guy's really funny. But but I noticed through your Twitter and your Facebook, a lot of the shows that you do, it looks like not you. I'm going to say the word host, but I don't mean it like in a comic sense. I mean it like you are helping put the show on, it appears.
Yeah. Well, kind of. I mean, it's just, you'll just, I put on rooms. I help my friends make posters or whatever. Or just, me and my friend will just want to do like a one-off show. Me and, did like a Freaky Friday show one time.
Switched acts.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think you had Josh on before, right?
Yeah, I've had Josh on.
Yeah. So Josh was on that. He switched with Umar Khan, very funny Baltimore comic, and we had Isaac Hirsch switch with Brendan Crick, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was Nick Oldershaw's idea. Moved to
That's
LA.
Awesome. Yeah.
Miss you, baby.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, but I don't know, cause I mean, just the regular mics and showcases get boring. You gotta switch it up.
That's cool. I've noticed a lot of the not format shows or whatever, the themed shows, if you want to call them, and I always wonder why, but that actually makes sense. I can imagine after a while you're just all right, let's just do something. Like I've played in bands for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And when I'm in a band now that's played 100, 200 shows, whatever, some insane amount of shows, and there are times where it's like, oh, our bass player can't make the show. Oh, good. Let's do it acoustic. That'll be fun for a change. Because we do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. That's like doing just like doing a straight up set, like ABC, and opposed to doing crowd work or just something that just could end in any possibility other than C, but you have to start at A, and you have to find that way. Yeah.
Well, that leads me to another thing. Do you also do improv, or are you just strictly stand up?
No, strictly stand up. I don't get improv. I don't
I totally get that, because it's that weird balance between I can comprehend the idea of improvising while doing stand up, but I cannot comprehend the here's a semi-written outline idea, now go for it. Like that always...
I just don't I find good improv funny. Like I don't have a thing against improv. I don't see how that's fun to do. I don't
Yeah.
see like
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, do you think it's like do you think it might be like the format is kind of like hindered a little bit just from the way it's laid out? Like kind of like how I see any kind of radio is pretty much it's like a podcast just by its existence of a
Mhm.
podcast and the freedom you have and
Yeah.
the long form discussions and whatnot and all the different avenues you can take is automatically superior to a radio broadcast in the sense of quality possibility because the format is just it's just a
Yeah.
more streamlined.
Yeah, well, it's like the Netflix thing. It's like, I want it now. I want
Yeah.
I want to binge watch all these podcasts. Like I can't do that with the radio show. How am I going to find yesterday's radio show? What if they have a reference from yesterday? How do I know if it's a reference or not?
Yeah.
Podcast, you can just start from the beginning and go from there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a beautiful
I've
thing.
been I've been listening to like a 5 hour long podcast. It was Bert Kreischer went to Doug Stanhope's compound in Bisbee, Arizona.
Yeah.
And he put out like a 5 hour long podcast.
Jesus.
I spent maybe 2 hours of work today listening to it. And I listened to it a lot when I was driving.
Yeah. No, dude, I have hour-long commutes each way from work, and the amount of podcasts that I listen to, like, it's to the point where, like, I've listened to as much. I mean, I don't know. I got through 5 years of Bill Burr podcasts in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm at the point where now I'm just like typing in searching for things that interest me and then just listening to 10 hours of nonsense on it.
Yeah, dude, I will literally just be like, oh, I like this guy as a podcast guest on this podcast. Let me find every other podcast he's been on a guest and just listen to all those.
The sole like search for Neil Brennan for me has gotten me into like 6 or 7 podcasts.
Yeah, you should listen to Misery Loves Company.
You pretend like I don't listen to it the second it comes out every week. Oh my god. Yeah. Now that's actually an interesting thing I don't know how into like the marketing aspect you are, but that show, they like timed everything so well.
Mm-hmm.
Where they have Kevin Brennan, a guy who has this lore in the comedy community, and they kind of build him up as a Louis to the extreme, where it's like, yeah, Louis like, fuck my kids and my wife sucks. He's like, I'm gonna murder my children and my wife. And on top of that, like, he is I just don't give a shit. I'm gonna talk about, like, I'll listen to him bash Comedy Cellar waiters. I don't know who they are. Yeah. But the gravity that everyone, other comics treat it as, and when you follow, like, you can follow along on Twitter with like people freaking out at him, it's like, this is crazy.
It's awesome. It's so funny. It's like, and like, you'll just hear about like people talking about it even on other podcasts. Like, I think on like YKWd, like Robert Kelly was like, so many people have been coming up to me about MLC. Like, it's ridiculous. Kevin said something insane.
I love that. And even ones that aren't on Riotcast Network, like, because I know he's on Robert Kelly's network. But yeah, you have all these other newer comics who are just like, to them, it's new for them.
Yeah,
they're like, this is interesting. But that's really cool. So, well, back to you. I mean, I'm fine talking about whatever. I don't give a shit.
We're literally talking about other podcasts on a podcast.
Well, dude, I do a Mike Moran, right?
Yeah.
Baltimore comic. We do a podcast where we just talk about The Wire. Like, I have podcasts about like music, TV, whatever. Like, I'll just nerd out about that stuff. But no, tell me. So, how did you? Again, with the stereotypical questions, but like, well, first off, how old are you?
I'm 23 years young.
So, young. You're actually young. Yeah. So, like, okay, so you started around 2021. Did you do the college thing? Are you still doing the college thing? What was your path of that?
Yeah, it's like I did it for a while, mainly because I just didn't know what else to do, and that's just what everyone told me to do, so I just did it. And I don't know.
Do you have regrets about that?
It was always not really. I don't know. It was always just like a struggle, just to like I don't know. Senior year of high school was very hard, but it was like, okay, this is over. And then just like doing that whole cycle all over again, it was like way too much. It was like,
Just 'cause you didn't care, or what was?
it was just like, yeah, I just didn't care.
What'd you end up majoring in?
I mean, like I studied in cool stuff. Like I studied in stuff I was always interested in, but like always as just a hobby,
Yeah.
and just always in the back of my mind, I was just like, I just, why am I here? Why am I here? I'd rather just do comedy.
So when you started comedy, like what? Two questions. First, when was the first experience you had with comedy where you were like, even if you didn't want to do it or didn't even think about doing it, that first experience that I feel like everybody has where they just go, oh, this is something different and special. What was that for you?
I think it was like my first show, to be honest. It was because I'd built it up so much. I like after senior year of high school, I started writing in like a Google document. Like I have like I think it's like maybe 30 or 40 page Google document of just like bit ideas, like just anything that I just like, it's just like, okay, that's funny enough that I could expand on that. And it's just been running since then. So like I started that after high school, and 3 years after that, I finally was like, all right.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how much time went by.
Yeah. I've contemplated doing stand-up longer than I've actually done it.
Yeah.
And then just after I figured it was mainly like a 21 years old thing. I was like, I probably can't start doing this till I'm 21 because like I can't even go to a bar right now.
Yeah.
I should probably just turn 21 first, and then I'll figure it out. And that's kind of what I did. I like after I turned 21, like a month went by, and I was like, all right, I think I might do this. And my buddy is like a musician. He went to like the CBP Wednesday open mic, but it's a music open mic in Towson.
I've played there with the band before.
Yeah. So and he was like, dude, you should just sign up here. Like Ernie used to run it. He was like, yeah, Ernie will just put you up, like da 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 da. So I signed up, and then I was getting nervous. I wrote like my jokes down on a napkin, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna piss my pants. I like ran to the bathroom, I peed, washed my hands, and right when I was like about to leave, I opened the door. On the door was a poster for the Color Me Funny Sunday open mic there. Used to be like a comedy open mic, 2013 to I guess the end of 2014. I don't know.
When the place burned down?
No, the place burned down in like 2008 or something.
Oh, it did? Jesus.
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
To me, it was yesterday. Sorry.
That was like, that was like when I was in high school. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, I saw the flyer for that, and then I like immediately crossed my name off at the music open mic because I was like, fuck that. I'm doing it at a comedy open mic. Fuck this. I'm too good for this.
You're already too good for it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm not a fucking musician.
I would love to see though. You just
one-man band.
You just go up with a guitar and you just you don't even play the guitar.
No, dude. Well, at one of the Wednesday night open mics, like maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, me and my buddy Jimmy, who I actually started a podcast with. It's not out yet, so no one's listening to it. But
when it is.
But when it hits, you're going to talk about it with the MLCs, the Joe Rogan experiences.
You're going to say some crazy shit about open micers in Baltimore, and we're all going to be like, whoa.
Yeah. Vice is going to pick it up. Vice is going to send fucking some photographer to take pics of us and jerk off or something.
My boss at a comedy website works for Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tight.
Yeah, go on.
Fuck, where was I?
You were about to play music with your podcast guy?
Oh shit, yeah. No, at the yeah, no, you're right. At the one at a Wednesday night music open mic like 2 months ago, we went up and he just like played like the preamble to a song. I just told jokes for like 30 seconds to a minute, And then we just like did karaoke, and then after the song was over, he played a little bit, and then I did a couple more jokes, and we got off. It was a lot of fun.
It's like, a good time. It's like those comics you used to have, like I know Mitch Hedberg did it, but I know back in the day they did it more often. Like jazz bass behind the comic.
Even like Zach Galifianakis, when he was on the Live of the Purple Onion, he was on a piano most of the time, and it was great.
That's a good point.
My dog just came up to me and he's licking my hand. It's great.
My dog's been running around here somewhere. That's another good reason to have headphones. I can't like, she'll bark. She hates everyone, even if you don't exist in the room. Yeah. Well, so I've caught you at an interesting time in my life. You're the first guest I've had since I've done a couple open mics now after thinking about it for years, and I finally just did it. And so now I'm just like, I'm kind of looking at things from the side of the guests that I've had on, and just be like, oh, that's what I don't know shit beyond my 2 times doing it, but I'm like, oh, that's kind of what that's like. I can kind of relate a little bit more now. So could you walk me through that first time you did it? Because I definitely want to like compare.
Yeah, it was completely nuts. So I had just like broken out this new notebook. Sorry, I need to let my dog out, but I'll just carry my laptop.
Whatever you need to do.
It was my first open mic I did at CBP. It was actually their first show there. So like it was completely packed. It was like ridiculous. Like a bunch of people came in from DC. They definitely called in like a bunch of favors for like people to come out. And
you invited people you knew to come see you the first time?
No, I'm saying like since it was their first open mic night. Yeah, it was their first open mic night. Yeah.
I was gonna like, wow, that's ballsy.
No. Well, actually, I went with 2 of my friends. 2 of my friends did come and see me, which is cool because like the room was packed and everyone on the bill was funny. They found out it was like my first time doing it, so they threw me up like in the first half. So it was like a fucking very lively room. Like everything was killing. Like they said, like they gave me that crutch. Like this is this guy's first time, and like everyone was into it, and it was so much fun. And like I like wrote my set list out like 3 times before actually going up, and like I finally had like the right order, and I did it, and I didn't like fucking stumble over any words or anything stupid like that, and like. Yeah, it was super fun time, and then like the next week, bombed. Like it was like my first week was so good. I like invited my brother out and my other friend out, and I was like, "Hey, they told me about this like open mic beforehand, right across the street." Like Color Me Funny used to have like a monopoly in Towson. Like they had CBP at like I think at like 8 or 9 on Sundays, and right beforehand, Talk and Ryan ran an open mic that like Color Me Funny kind of pushed them into at the Crab Ranch. But so like I invited my brother and my friend out, and we go to that Crab Ranch mic. It was like my second mic. I like eat a dick. And then I was like, all right, well, let's walk across the street. There's another open mic. Maybe I'll do better. Eat another dick. Like, my second and third time on stage, I just back-to-back bombed in front of my brother and my friend.
Was it just different crowd energy? Did you, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was definitely just me. Like, I was made to do this. I'm just naturally gifted.
Dude, yeah, my first time, it was 2 weeks ago at Sidebar, and I told Dark Mark it was my first time, and so I wound up going up at 1:15 in the morning.
Dude, I think I was still there, but I might have been outside.
Yeah, no, I've gone to the open mic multiple times just to hang out.
Yeah, because I know you've been around for a while.
Like I know how it goes, but it's I had a kid somewhere in the middle of that, so I just disappeared for like 6 months. But yeah, like no, I know how that goes. And I played in bands. I know when you've played enough shows, you do your thing and you go outside. Like that's fucking so normal. Yeah. Like, but that was what was so funny. Was just like I knew that was kind of the environment. It was you're new. Get in the back of the line, and that's I like meritocracy. I'm a huge fan of meritocracy. Like Mike Brand had told me, because I was like, I went up pretty late last week. He was like, I can talk and see if you can, get up earlier. And I was like,
It's like,
yeah,
no.
okay. And then instantly I was like, no. I need to take
dude, exactly.
I don't want any favors. But yeah, and that's what I found for me was my biggest fear was fumbling a word or forgetting something. That was the least of my problems.
Yeah.
Everything else was just like talking way too fast. Or and it's so funny what you mentioned, like the next time you went up and you were like, oh, I'm amazing at this, and you probably exuded the wrong kind of confidence.
Yeah, I probably smelled like just someone looked at me and probably was like, that guy probably smells like shit. Like, fuck this guy.
We're done. That's kind of that attitude that in bands I've always played in, the audiences really are just like, unless they already know your music, which is very rare. It takes years for a band to get anybody to even know any of their music. But like, you're so used to playing these bars where you're just like, everyone's looking at you like, why are you even here? Like, I didn't want you here. Like, what the fuck? It's a show. Why did you come? But so I'm used to that energy. But like, I'm terrible with playing to a lead. And this past week when I went up, I recorded my set, so I'm going to have all my regulars on the podcast come on and listen to it and just bash the shit out of me.
Nice.
So and there's a moment in it where I knew it as it was happening, where I actually got my first, like, it's small, there's only like 15 people in the room, but I got a big laugh. Something I said for the first time got a big laugh.
Awesome.
And instantly you can hear in my voice, I feel like I'm the shit. And then 5 seconds later, I'm back to like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, you can't do that. You can't, I stepped on my first big laugh. Like, it was so stupid. Anyway, but no, it's so funny kind of like analyzing it like that. And holy shit, before I even started thinking about going up and just writing jokes, I would just like see even open micers and just go, oh, no, this is impossible.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's ridiculous. Like, I used to write so much. Before I did comedy was like when I wrote the most. Ever since I started doing comedy, I don't know what happened.
Now, because you mentioned ideas and concepts that you can expand on, are you a big proponent of the whole writing from stage kind of philosophy?
So, yes, but only because I'm just so lazy. Like,
It's exactly what Bill Burr said and his reasoning behind it. It's too lazy.
Dude, I try to write and like, I will write jokes. Like, I've written jokes, I swear to God. But like, most of my jokes or most of my tags that actually get like good laughs all come from like just on the spot. Like, it's just like, you just get comfortable enough, and then that's just it.
Yeah, I got the first time I went up, the only two non-polite laughs I got were two like things I improv right when I stepped on the stage. Said two quick things, and then from that,
or like, nothing. Or you'll just like you'll have the checkpoints that you want to hit. But then, like, the way to get to it is just, like, a different wording every time. And then you'll finally hit a wording and be like, all right, well, that's
the wording.
Yeah, that's the wording I'm definitely going to use from now on. I'm glad I recorded this.
No, that's something that, like, I always hear comics say is, and not the ones I have on, usually the up-and-coming people who I've met have a very different mindset about how to prepare for stuff than the more famous comics I listen to on podcasts, where the previous generation would be like, yeah, I record myself, but I never listen. I should really listen. And like,
well, I don't listen. Okay, so
But I guess it'll be successful.
So like, I record myself, but like, do I listen? Not all the time. I think it's like maybe like I'll listen if I'm like, all right, that was a good set. I want to know what that set list was so I can maybe do it tonight, or like the wording thing. But like, I'm not going to listen to I did a set at UMBC last night. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to listen to it. I know what the set was. It wasn't anything spectacular. So it's going to sit in my phone and I'll back it up, and maybe I'll keep it on like an external hard drive for like 5 years or whatever, but I'm never going to listen to it again.
Well, that's like, well, for you, I mean, it sounds like you listen a lot for content.
Yeah.
The thing for, I've done a lot of comedy writing for websites over the years. And so like, it's what's funny is like, I feel like I'm a built writer because I'm not funny. Like I can't, my voice is naturally how I tell a joke is like the antithesis of humor. Like I have to suppress all of my natural social interactions.
What's up? Yeah, I just let him out.
Oh, he came out and bit me like he wanted to go outside.
He probably just pooped or something.
Oh, okay.
All right, good night.
Your roommate? Yeah. Your roommate? You're good? What are you pointing at? Something on. No, like, but no, yeah. So, God damn it. For me, it's like I don't know. That was all of that was a visual gag for anybody.
Yeah.
The audio version may not pick that up. So, well, like. So for me, and everything I think right now about comedy is going to change in 3 to 6 months. So
yeah.
That's why I say, you're listening.
I definitely, definitely still suck at it.
You're fine.
I just know I'll eventually get better at it. So like, I'm not too worried.
Well, no one I don't trust anyone who can take a compliment, any artist who can take a compliment, and every comic I jumped into the comedy world through this podcast. And I've had a lot of comics on. At first, I took whatever I could get. I had plenty of comics who I have friends who are like, and just regular listeners who are like, you tricked me. It's like, what do you mean? They're like, well, I listened to the podcast and the guy sounded funny on the podcast. Then I checked out his stand-up and he was garbage. I'm like, yes, I heard that. But like, I took whoever I could get. And so like, I've had a decent share of funny and unfunny comics. And it's almost consistently the funniest comics are the ones who cannot take the compliments. Yeah. And I think the reason it's not like a personality trait, I think it's more if you're actually good, all that means is that you have learned how much better you can be. And I definitely learned that through music. So it was like, I thought I was amazing, but it turned out I sucked. And then I kind of reached that hill and I could see the horizon and saw all of the things that I could do with music. And I was like, that's what people are capable of. That's good. I am garbage, people. But you have to be good enough to know how bad you suck before you can improve.
I mean, I think it's just like, I don't know, people, like if they just hang around open mics and they just see the open mic talent and they're like, they compare themselves to that, then I can see where they like might hit a plateau because they're like, all right, well, this is all I have to do. I don't have to be anything other than this. But like, I don't know. I see like, I was listening to like I said, I was listening to that podcast with like Stanhope and Bert Kreischer earlier. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to be that funny one day. Like, I don't care about going up like first or second at an open mic. I'd rather fucking, just be funny.
When I discovered the archive of Patrice O'Neill on Opie and Anthony, and I like listened to a bunch of episodes, and I was never an O&A fan, but Patrice has always been like my favorite comic for the longest time. And so I like discovered those and I was like, oh my God. And I still remember doing a podcast like a day or two later. And I was like, we're done here. Like, what are we even doing? I'll never be anywhere near that quick, that insightful, and have that many amazing takes like so perfectly.
Maybe these are just like the training days till.
That's kind of what I think we're all like hoping to do at this level. Like, and with you with stand-up, like you have such a solid, I mean, I know it takes years and years to find your voice, but you at least feel like you're on a really solid track. I probably think you're better than you think you are because you know you. So I get that. I get if there's a disconnect there, but like it really sounds like you are on the right path to where you need to be.
I've had a lot of people tell me I'll be really funny one day.
Dude, you're gonna be good someday. Well, dude, you're also really young, so like you have the amount of time you have, and the fact that you're doing it so much now. Like so when I record myself, which I'm going to do forever now, because like I think that's very necessary. Like for me, it's almost less content because I remember stuff and I blah blah blah. But I am so unfunny that like I have to figure out what tone of voice that I'm taking and every little inflection, because I know if I do it naturally, it's the George Costanza thing. If I do it my natural way, it's going to fail. So I have to like do everything the opposite.
Yeah, no. You have to, you literally have to plan out everything. Like you have to like think about that kind of stuff. You have to like think about like how, like what kind of inflection you're going to have on a word. Like it's like it all matters. And like, and it's like, it's weird because it's like when you're in a groove of it, in like an improv or like just like a crowd work or whatever, off the top thing, like a joke, it's like it's almost like rhythm. It's like, I don't know, it's like a song, because like you hit the beats and then like punchline and then laugh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and you didn't, I don't know.
I like how I'm comparing music. What's up?
No, I wanted to say something profound and deep, but also I'm just an idiot, so I don't know.
I think that was profound and deep. No, like I just like how I'm comparing everything in comedy to, or I'm using comedy to explain music, and you're using music to explain comedy.
Yeah,
which is funny because I thought that comedy. So I'm about to say something that I plan to turn into a bit, but
okay.
I have to clarify that, even though that sounds hacky. I have to clarify that because I do an open mic that you're at, and if you hear me do it, I don't want you to go thinking, "Oh, on the podcast he was just telling me bits."
Yeah, he was trying out bits on me.
I know that's the lamest shit, and I would never do that. But like,
okay, cool.
But I thought that
a lot of people do.
Most of my bits. That's the fun. Like most of my bits came from something that happened sporadically on the podcast, and then I go, "Oh, that was kind of cool." Write it down and flesh it out later.
Yeah.
But like, because I have 2 to 4 hours a week, I have conversations with comedians. Like that's kind of the thing, so it comes up. But I thought that because I know music and comedy is so interconnected, and there's the trope of like, oh, every musician wants to be a comic, every comic wants to be a musician.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be like going to a show. It's not. It's like going to a Magic the Gathering tournament, which I used to play. It's like the same number of chain wallets and backpacks and like unkempt beards and just like the whole. But it's also, but it's also like the vibe of it. Like it's this weird competitive but cooperative, but like we're all in the same boat and we're all outsiders, but we're all kind of fighting each other, but not really. I don't know. It's an interesting like dynamic that happens there.
Yeah, I mean, also it's just like, I don't know. There's definitely like a lot of, at least with like the people I hang out with, it's like definitely a lot of like big dog and
Oh really?
just like,
are you a big dog?
Just shitting on people.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do. So like,
legit shitting on people or just busting balls? Okay.
No, just like busting balls, busting balls. Yeah, but like and I don't know. I tend to just hang out with the people who can take it and dish it back out to me. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I love like anytime I get like a group podcast going with comics who like just shit on each other. It's great. It never leads to any new listeners.
Oh no!
I think people but it's so much fun. Like it's
the best.
That's all you want to do.
It's like, it's literally the favorite thing. My favorite part of comedy is like the hang afterwards.
Yeah.
Like the hang after the show, before the show, during the show. Who cares?
Absolutely. I was finding myself like, and by the way, playing concerts is the same thing. Like that was always the best. It was just like there were times where in the middle of the day or middle of the show, you'd go, oh shit, I have to go on. Like I forgot I was playing tonight. Yeah. That's when you know you're having like an amazing time. It's like I don't even want to go on stage. I just want to keep doing this hang. And that's actually why I started doing podcasting. It had nothing to do with like breaking into comedy. I had never thought I'd go down, this path. It's just, obviously it's just a hobby for me. I'm a little old, but like, but man, I just was like, I want to hang out with comics. Like every comic I know is really cool. I want to meet as many as I can and hang out and hear like, what they have to say. And I don't know, it's just really cool. Did you, so as far as the hang is concerned, was that like a surprise for you? Was that just like an extra thing? Or did you kind of have an idea about the comedy lifestyle going in?
I mean, like, I guess, like, I don't know. I had somewhat of an idea just from like listening to podcasts or whatever, but it was never like a thing that was like, all right, I'm gonna start doing comedy. I'm gonna start getting to hang. You know?
That's like the worst reason you can get.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's gonna be like. I know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because like I don't know, you only have like experience with like, you'll go through school and you'll go through clubs or extracurricular things or and you'll just like be like, all right, cool, like it's just still like a job, and there's still like the cool kids and the stupid kids and the the burnout kids and all that stuff. So like I don't know, it would like I essentially got in because I was like, all right, I want to do this. I I don't care if anyone thinks I'm funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna keep doing this every week. Like I wanna get to a point where I think I'm funny, and then if people like it, that's sweet.
That's perfect. That's awesome. Like that's there's the I think it was Jerry Seinfeld. He said when he gets asked like what was it like what got him into I don't remember the exact question, but he said it wasn't that he like thought he was particularly funny. And that's a joke, but I think he like truly believes that he says he was the least funny person in his group of friends growing up. So like, but what he would do is when he would go to comedy clubs, what made him want to go up was he would just see the guys doing comedy and go, I want to be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like not I want to do that well or I have this lifestyle expectation, but it was just like I want to be a guy who does that, and that's it. That's as far as he thought it. Just I want to be on stage doing that, and that's the best attitude you can take, I think.
Yeah, I mean I guess it's something similar to that. It's just it's just something that I've always admired and always respected and wanted to do, and it was just like I finally got I finally just did it. And now I'm here.
Yeah. But do you
podcast?
Oh yeah. You've really made it up. Yeah. Well, that's the other funny thing with this is like when I started it, I was begging people. I still am begging people when I begged you to go on. But like with the podcast, it was just like.
Sorry, I flaked out a couple times. I felt really bad.
No, it's actually fine. Like because I have a kid now, my schedule is literally like. After 9 p.m., like I am a slave until 9 p.m. and then I'm free. Yeah. And so any night I'm like last night when you canceled, I was sitting there just like, should I just message random people and be like, you want a podcast? Like just, I don't know, like my plumber.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying like, it's no sweat. No, but like, it's funny because I've had comics who are not nearly as working as much or as successful or whatever on whatever level of success you want, but I found like when I was still asking people early on, I had Josh Caderna on my podcast. Josh is a pretty successful stand-up,
good buddy,
like,
very good guy. Yeah.
Great dude. And but what was funny was like if you look at whenever I had Josh compared to all the other comics I was having on at the time, it was like guys who'd been doing it like 6 months or had barely been, never gotten any success in any way, shape, or form for the most part. And then smack dab in the middle was Josh Caderna, fresh off his interview with Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
So with that, it
Josh, love you on the pod. Love to get on my pod, baby.
He's like, but that's the thing with Josh was like, I don't think I think it's a sign of his success and people like his success is that people like that go. Like I had plenty of people who were at his level who were, or even lower, who would like, no thanks. You have how many listeners? How many subscribers? No thanks. I'm all set.
Shit.
But
what
like,
well, name names,
like that, but more like
names.
Names that have been forgotten.
I'm just flattered to be asked on a podcast.
Well, that's kind of I think that's kind of the point because it's like somebody who is willing to go on a podcast with. Like now I have way more listeners than I did when he first came on, but like at the time, someone willing to just kind of come on that. I still had a regular, like a WordPress at that point for God's sake, but like, but that's kind of a sign. And I think you fall into that group too, where you're just like, someone wants me on a podcast. I'm there. That's the sign of a hard worker and the sign of somebody who wants to get to the next level. Like, I don't know.
Thank you for saying that I'm a hard worker.
Oh no, excuse me. Sometimes my perception is off, but no.
Yeah, been questioning myself recently.
Don't you contradict my. No. Hey, listen. Your name isn't on this pod. Well, actually, your name is on this podcast.
Yeah, half of my name is on this podcast. You better not fuck this up.
Only half of my name is on it too. God damn it! All right. Well, before we before we go, I just wanted to ask. So after you bombed a couple of times, your second and third time back to back, which is at least those weren't a week apart. And you just got to know.
They were probably 30 minutes an hour apart.
Yeah. So what? God. Hey, let me ask you this: did you try different material the second one, or did you just throw this in?
Yeah, for sure. I was like, all right, well, that stuff was obviously garbage. I should just go back to the stuff I did last week. That
the stuff you know works.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Now that I've been to a lot
material.
I've been to a lot of these open mics now, and I'm seeing the pattern of the amount of times I've heard this phrase for the end of a set that isn't going well. All right, I guess I'll have to pull out my stuff that I know kills, and it never kills.
Yeah.
It's so brutal.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is, but these open micers, including myself, we all just, we're all like, all right, well, I want to end on a good note. Fuck all this shit. I wrote all this. This is all new stuff today.
This is new stuff.
I'm gonna pull out this killer joke that I've been doing for 2 months. Sometimes works in a room of more than 10 people at 10:30 in sidebar.
So what got you? That's so funny. What got you? What got you back on it? Were you just not deterred at all, or after those two bombs?
I mean, I just knew I knew that it was just I figured, I don't know, I thought I was funny, I guess, everyone thinks they're funny. That's why it's weird when you invite your friends to your shows, because they're like, oh well, I'm the funny friend, you know what I mean? They're never gonna say that it's you. So it's I don't know, I just thought I was funny enough to keep doing it, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
Dude, that's a really healthy attitude to take, because especially at that age, I didn't start anything comedy related other than writing until I was maybe 27, 28. I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
And shut up. And,
I know. Well, I mean, it's definitely just an exposure thing, and I don't know, for whatever reason, Comedy Central was big when I was a kid, and they had all those specials on, and on vacation we would just end up watching a comedy special, or just always had access to it. And then podcasts got big, and it was all right, well, this is becoming more and more real. I feel definitely getting into podcasts, it was all right, these are just real people too. I could totally see myself doing this, Well,
that's awesome. Yeah, that was the same feeling I had in high school watching Tough Crowd, and I was that's
Tough Crowd. Oh my god.
But dude, I used to VHS record.
Dude, in 2011, I used to just play Counter-Strike and watch Opie and Anthony or Tough Crowd on YouTube.
Oh my god, yeah. Well,
shout out to the Game Boys.
Dude,
Fire Taco, Valk, Jason, Assemble.
Dude, that's but it's just I just keep thinking is when I was doing these podcasts at 27, 28, starting then, I actually feel the same maturity level you showed at 20 was what I needed to wait until I was 27 to have before I could handle it. Because I remember myself doing music.
I'm not sure.
Excuse me, your ability to objectively judge your performances. Doing music, I put myself when I was 20 to 23, your age when you started to now, doing music, I was I deserved to get punched in the face 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. I was the biggest douchebag, and I had no idea. And I sucked, and I had no idea. And had I started to do I see these open mics. Every open mic I've been to, at least one person has stormed off stage at some point.
Yeah.
And so
I've
that would have been
I've
me.
done it at least once, probably.
That would have been me every single week. Oh, let me ask you, why'd you storm off stage? I'm always curious the internal reasons, because I've seen people storm off and then just go, you know what? Sorry about that.
So it was like, I think it was at like a CVP. It was like one of my first. It was like definitely within the first like 3 months, probably. And I think it was just like, I think maybe they gave everyone 5 minutes, and I only did 3, and I just kind of walked off. And I think it was just because I didn't want to repeat jokes. I didn't want to like the first like 6 months of doing comedy. I didn't repeat a joke once. I did like I wrote new bits for every, but also I had 3 years of bit ideas written. So like I just did like a new act every week for 6 months, and then I was like, I'm not really hitting 5 minutes with these new jokes every week. Maybe I should start. This worked. I put like a check next to it, so this one worked. Like maybe
cool.
I'll add this on here, like do this, or I don't know.
Dude, that's a debate I've been having with myself, because I have years of stuff saved up that I'm just like,
well, so I only used like stuff from like the last 6 months of the like bit ideas, because like,
oh, that's cool. Did you go back and go, this is garbage?
Yeah,
I deleted 100 notes in my phone this past week.
Dude, I want to delete my Google document so bad and just like migrate the good stuff to another one, but like I don't know, it's just like it's like a part of like history for me.
Do you think any of it might be?
I'm
an emotional pack rat. I will save. I have old AOL Instant Messenger conversations from like high school, just saved somewhere. Where I'm just like, I can never let go of these precious conversations where we all thought we knew everything. Anyway, all right. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on. Could you give us anything you want to plug? I'm gonna put this up probably in the next week. So any shows, bigger shows, or whatever you want that's coming up, and where we can find you and your podcast, maybe.
Yeah, the podcast is going to be called Live from the Studio with Jimmy and Eric.
Live from the studio, it's really fun.
Yeah, Live from the Studio with Jimmy and Eric, and we record it at the studio, which is a recording studio we built in a garage in Louisville, Timonium, Maryland. And so that'll be out, I think like maybe mid-March that'll be out. I think the first couple episodes will be out.
So in 3 or 4 days?
Okay, yeah, from when you release this.
Yeah.
And then I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Eric Glaeser, Glaeser, Eric with a C, because
that's the only way to spell it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the only way to spell it. I don't know what any of these people are doing.
And then Facebook.com/Porygon, because I fucks with Pokemon.
All right, sweet. Well, you can find this podcast and many, 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 many others like it at erictries2hard.com. Find me at YouTube and Facebook at Eric Tries Too Hard, and on Twitter at Eric Tries. And I think that's it. And that was just for you, Eric. I wanted you to know where you can find me. Well, thank you so much for coming on. If you ever want to come back for a group or for any of them, please let me know, and I will throw you on whatever.
Yeah, man, let me know. Awesome.
All right, and I will probably see you out and about.
Yeah, I'll see you on Monday.
Nice. Hey, it's good meeting you.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'll see you on Monday, dude.
Okay, see you later. Bye.